I bet it is. Yeah, I saw a video on YouTube. You were doing a tour and you were showcasing the chicken houses and how they move. And so they're there for a day or two, and then you move them, and it looks like a grid pattern. As you're moving them, they're stomping around in the field, eating bugs, moving around manure. It's so cool. And I mean, it seems better for the environment, but also it seems better for the chickens. They're not in this small barn. They're actually an
Yeah.
active part in nature.
Yeah, absolutely. They're in small modules as opposed to one great big facility. There's no flies, there's no odor, there's no fecal particulate. The manure is going right on the grass, and then they get a whole new spot tomorrow. I mean, they get their bedding changed every single day. So yes, it's healthier for the chickens. It's happier for the chickens. It puts them in an environment that they're that allows them to fully express their chickenness.
Yeah.
And so that's a big deal. And you know what? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And when you start talking about um, uh, uh, building a direct market clientele, a brand, to get your value added through direct marketing, you'd better be aesthetically and aromatically, sensually romantic. I mean, you'd better be a place that people like to come, walk around, look around, and you probably know we make a big deal that we have a 24/7, 365 open door policy. Anyone can come to the farm at any time from anywhere in the world, unannounced, and see anything anywhere. That's our commitment to transparency. And it really resonates with people and gives you a lot of street cred when you're out there. When you say anybody can come and see anything anytime. There's no locked doors. There's no skull and crossbones. We're not putting anything on the soil that you can't eat. I mean, in small quantities at least.
Yeah.
And it's so those chickens out on pat, they are so attractively magnetic that people, it resonates with people. They're taking pictures, they're doing social media posts, it needs to be beautiful. Good farming should smell and look good.
I like that. Yeah. And I mean, that transparency is huge because I feel like, especially with social media, we can see what's going on at a farm and people have questions and they want to go see what's going on. But, sometimes they go to a farm and they see a practice and they're like, I don't know if I agree with that. But that's awesome. You guys have that transparency and you have that, like you're talking about, like you want to create kind of a romantic atmosphere there where they really enjoy it. They really appreciate the agriculture and really also the practices. I'm sure, that when you have people out there, are they like, oh, I didn't know it could be like this. Like I thought it could only be factory farming, quote unquote.
Absolutely. The probably the most common, there's two most common comments we get. The first most common comment is, I'm here with all these animals and there's no smell, there's no odor, there's no flies. I could have a picnic lunch out here. So the smell thing is a big deal. That's certainly number one. And number two for us, this is almost the other end of the spectrum, is that the buildings and all, we're not flashy. We don't have any white fences.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a threadbare look, and I don't want to make it sound like it's all run down. It's not run down, but my point is, we don't show off buildings and structures and machinery. What we show off is grass, earthworms, cows, chickens. I mean, come look at the soil and the production of it. We don't showcase. We're not showcasing equipment and buildings. If that's what you want to showcase, you're probably not putting your money in the right place.
That's a really good point. You should be putting it towards the livestock, towards the land. And, I've interviewed like a bunch of people that are focusing more on regenerative ag, whether they're ranchers or just regular farmers growing crops. And it seems like it's this really growing trend of being intentional with the soil. Whether you're a rancher or a row cropper, if you pay attention to the soil, you're going to get better products. You're going to get better beef, better chicken, better whatever you might be growing, which is huge.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and of course that's where we've put our attention. A lot of people don't realize when we came in 1961, we bought I call it the armpit of the community. It was the most worn out, rock pile, gullied place in the area. Probably mainly because it had been absentee owned for about 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what happens a lot of times when people lease land, they just take and take and take and don't put back. And so our farm suffered from that. So when we came, we had large areas, Trevor, the size of, they were, a quarter acre in size, that were just like round saucers in the field, solid rock, solid bedrock. No, I mean, no grass, no weed, no nothing, just solid bedrock. In fact, we had so little soil when Dad started. He read Andre Voisin, Grass Productivity. So we got to start moving these cows around.
Mm-hmm.
So he developed kind of electric fencing. How are we going to hold up electric fencing? We didn't have enough soil to hold up electric fencing. So he poured concrete in old used car tires, stuck a 1/2-inch pipe down, and my brother and I, we were little kids, and we could kind of heave these off the tractor platform as he drove out through the field. And then he'd go along and put electric fence stakes down in the 1/2-inch pipe that was in that concrete, so that we could put up electric fence. And I'm so, I get teary at this point. The blessing of my life is, and I'm not that old, but in my lifetime, I've watched those areas now fill up with now about 12 inches of soil. Now, it's not 3 feet like it was 500 years ago, but it's 12 inches of soil. There's no rocks. They've been completely covered up with soil. We didn't haul that soil in. That soil grew like new skin over a scab. And so literally, when I was a kid, we could scarcely feed 10 cows. Today we feed 100 cows on the same acreage. It's just phenomenal what a difference this has made. And so, my encouragement to people, when people ask, what should I buy? I'm getting ready to buy a farm, buy some property. What I say, buy junk, because the land is living and it'll heal. It can heal like living things. And so, don't buy somebody else's stewardship, buy somebody's poor stewardship, and then you make it better.